Now the floor is given to Madam Nirmala Sitharaman, Defense Minister of India. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moderator, Your Excellencies, Defense Ministers and other dignitaries, distinguished delegates. It's a pleasure to address the 7th Moscow Conference on International Security. I thank Defense Minister General Sergei Shoigu for the invitation. At the outset, I compliment the organizers of the conference for the excellent arrangements made. The program of the conference covers several areas of contemporary relevance. The theme of this session addresses a key aspect of the current global defense, security, and strategic scenario. It is appropriate that we are discussing this subject in Moscow. Russia has re-established its role and influence in global strategic and defense matters. Russia has also established new partnerships, even as it continues to build ties with older friends and allies. At the same time, relations between Russia and some countries are now beset with serious differences. This has created a complex dynamic. Either way, the solution to the key challenges we face today require Russia's active involvement. I welcome the statements by Defense Minister Shoigu and other Russian leaders in the opening session, stressing Russia's intent to explore all possible avenues for dialogue and a constructive approach to resolving differences. For us in India, Russia has been and remains a long-standing friend and a partner with whom we share a special and privileged strategic partnership. India and Russia have just concluded a year of commemorative events to mark the 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Over these 7 decades, India and Russia have built a relationship of mutual trust and confidence in a range of areas, especially defense. We therefore welcome Russia's growing global engagement and remain keen to continue consultations and coordination with Russia on international and regional issues. For India, cooperation with Russia is vital in ensuring stability and security in our shared Eurasian neighborhood, especially in addressing the menace of terrorism. We also seek a cooperative relationship with Russia for broad-based and mutually beneficial economic growth and development in the region. The problems confronting the international community today cannot be solved by any one single country or group of countries alone. The issues facing all of us today require an inclusive approach within broader and consultative frameworks. It is in this context that I offer my comments today here on the theme of this session, namely global security in a polycentric world. Distinguished delegates, a key facet of the prevailing international situation is the continued and rising unpredictability in relations between major powers. This is both unprecedented and a matter of great concern. The current deterioration of ties between Russia and the West is a reflection of this trend. We also see the manifestation of this instability as a matter in which major powers, as well as other influential actors, have sought to address a range of regional issues and conflicts. At a fundamental level, Such divergent approaches indicate wider diffusion of power in the international system, in particular, the rise of Asia. This is a positive development in which India also seeks to play its due role. However, it is essential that we manage such profound changes, keeping in mind the need to balance change and stability. Specific and concrete efforts must be made to work towards enhancing mutual confidence. We need to avoid perspectives that seek to enhance narrow gains while undermining the larger good. In the economic sphere, we need to guard against protectionism, barriers to movement of skilled labor, and the closing of borders are unlikely to address the issues involved. We also need to ensure that benefits of growth continue to flow to less affluent regions. We cannot achieve stability by devising new ways to wolf attacks and the continuing patronage of some irresponsible states to terrorist groups need to be addressed in a comprehensive manner. Efforts to establish a territorial base in West Asia by terrorists have been dealt a body blow. This was possible because broad objectives of all players, in particular the major international actors, were in alignment. This has been a silver lining in an otherwise challenging global scenario, and therefore it highlights the possibilities for greater cooperation in addressing the shared challenges we all face. Further, efforts are necessary to ensure that there is no re-emergence of terrorism in the region and prevent its spillover onto the wider region of returning terrorists. Better information sharing and intelligence exchanges are essential to address the threat. Cooperation in this effort can provide the basis for collaborative steps on other issues of mutual interest. We should also resolutely resist attempts by some states to retain influence through terrorist proxies. We in India are well aware of such nefarious designs, efforts by states to continue training, funding, or ideologically supporting terrorist groups for their narrow objectives should be repulsed effectively using forceful methods where necessary. The resurgence of territorial disputes in the maritime domain is another concern. Maritime territorial disputes are extremely complex. We need to ensure that such issues are managed effectively and solely through peaceful means. The past few decades of growth have transformed the Indo-Pacific region into the most dynamic engine of the global economy. We need to ensure that the prosperity of the Asia-Pacific region is not put to risk through unilateral actions that can undermine regional peace and stability. The rights of freedom of navigation and overflight, as well as unimpeded commerce, should be ensured. For India, this is vital to sustain its own territorial